Hi guys, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Good. Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh,
What's
okay,
up,
okay,
man?
perfect. How's everyone doing? Good afternoon. How are you?
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Well,
We're
evening.
good. We're good. It's hot outside, but we're good.
Yeah, very.
Yeah, yeah. No, I have my wife driving. We're actually going to a meeting at 8 p.m. and I couldn't get up. So if you see me with my seatbelt on, don't worry about it. I'm not driving. I have my wife driving, so I could do this.
Fair enough.
I like the background.
Oh yeah, thank you, thank you. Um, I don't know if we want to wait. Let me see what time is. It was 7:01. I mean, if you guys have, in general, some questions, or if we want to wait like a couple of minutes to see if any more people come in, but um, I'm happy to like just have a conversation with you guys.
Yeah, for sure. I was just wondering, like you said, you're on your way to a meeting, right?
Yeah, I'm heading to a meeting in Miami Beach right now.
Okay. Usually, when you run the construction part
Yeah,
of a
but
meeting, like
it's at 8:30.
okay, I was gonna say like when you run the construction aspect of a meeting, like what is it that you guys talk about specifically? Obviously, the project as a whole, like what has to get done. But like,
For example, yeah. So to give you an idea, like this meeting that I'm going right now, it's a townhouse, a waterfront townhouse. It's an investor from Europe, and they hired a design team, and I plugged in my engineer and architect, and we designed like drawings and all that for them, and I won the bid on the construction part of it. So now today the meeting is going to be just on, we're going to sign the contract, sign some paperwork, and start talking about starting date and logistics, because the guy keeps traveling back and forth. And then we're going to be running the construction project from our office, and we're going to like establish like who's going to be in contact with who, and like just that kind of thing. Like that's the meeting right now, uh, in this
yeah,
particular case.
yeah, okay,
As far as when we go into project like the ones that we're doing right now, the ones that you're involved, we do all of this way before uh, we even go into contract with the deal. Like I go, Roxy and I will go to the city and meet with all the building inspectors, and do a lean search on the property and look for solutions to the specific items on that lean search, so that we don't have surprises. And we always give ourselves a good chunk of time for paperwork, meaning the back and forth with the permitting and the drawings, and with the cities, especially when you buy a property that it has violations, or like any of the big issues, because the city, especially if you buy a property that has a working without a permit, you have to make sure that the building department knows new owner, and that you're there to correct the issues. Because every time that file pops up in one of their computers, you're like the worst, because you got caught working without a permit. So you got to make sure that when you go in, that they know that you're like a new owner, and that you're there to fix problems. That's like a big thing when it comes to dealing with the building department and doing permit. So what do you guys usually talk in the meetings?
Numbers.
How to make a lot of money. Well, not necessarily. Yeah, just open insight, hearing different
J-
people's point of view.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well, Jay helps us make money too, just in a different way, by
Yeah,
fixing
no.
up the property.
Yeah, I know. You guys want to talk to Luis and like make sure that you see all the big numbers coming in and out, but there's a process to it, and
Yeah.
it's painful, but that's the process that makes us the money. Like,
Yeah.
I would say easily all of the buildings that we bought in the last 2 years, we got easily 40 to 50% value add on them, because it's okay. Keep going. Because because on the more stress the property is, the more problems he has, the bigger discount you can negotiate going in, and the bigger margins you're gonna have when your building is stable.
Yeah.
So like when it comes to these kind of like what we specialize in, distressed properties, the bigger the problems, the better. But you got to know what you're doing. You got to know what you're going into. But that it's like they say, the bigger the risk, the bigger the reward. Like there's no that's an absolute. Like that's what you got to take. If you know what you're doing, look for the scariest building, the ugliest one, the one that has the most issues.
Yeah.
Those are gonna bring you the most money.
Definitely.
Um,
How'd you
Jay,
get into this? Just started investing. Just I guess being in the market or being in the industry, just branched off to looking at properties that you could see that you can add value to.
Actually, I did it the other way around. I always been in construction. Like I started working in construction right out of college.
Oh, okay.
I left high school and I went to college here in Miami, in Miami-Dade County.
Mm-hmm.
And I took a job with a big developer here in Miami. They're called Century Home Builders.
Oh, got it.
And I started, just like I had like a little part time because I used to go to school, and then I would come back to do construction. But I ended up staying with them for 7 years. And that company that was 2000. 2000, 2001, 2002, until 2007, I was with that one developer. And we were building 1,000 homes a year. So I went from being at the bottom, being like a punch out guy that just like walking around with a caulking gun and just doing like cleaning and labor.
Mm-hmm.
And I went all the way to being a job supervisor, where I would have like an entire section of when you work for a developer and you're like a foreman, you have a portion of the construction that you run. So let's say you do ground up construction, you're in charge of slab, framing, and trusses. And then somebody else comes and does drywall and finishes and all of that. So in the 7 years, since I stayed there for 7 years, I went through the whole process. I went from being a punch out guy all the way to actually turning over units to the actual owner, like doing the walkthroughs, doing the punch list, doing the 1 year warranty from the developer for the owners, all that stuff. After that, then I opened my own company. I opened a management company, and I only took jobs when they were like where they offer me like a high-paying job to do like custom projects. But after I did that, I basically started working for myself, and I would only take jobs when they were, like I said, oh, listen, we have a year, we need to turn over, we have a project, we need to turn over 50 units. And then I would take the project manager or property manager job for that 1 year with like a high paying salary. But at the same time, I always kept having corporations and doing my own thing. And that's how I got into flipping houses. That's what I used to do a lot. Like I never did less than 2 houses a month, but I was always a construction guy. I had the investors because since I got into the construction part of it, I started getting in touch with investors. And in the early 2000s, real estate was booming.
That
Everybody
was a
was
great
buying real
time.
estate and everybody was investing. It was crazy. It was good time. It was like really good time to be in construction. So I went from being the construction guy to actually getting into the other part of real estate. I started buying myself ownership on projects. And then, I got my real estate license and I said, we started getting to multifamilies. I haven't actually done a flip, I think in a couple of years, maybe a year, 1 year, 2 years. I did a flip in Michigan on a single family that we bought, but I used to do so many flip, guys. And then my mind changed and I hate selling real estate right now.
So when you say you bought into a couple of projects, what do you mean?
Yeah.
Like, let's say, go ahead.
Because, for example, when an investor will come to me and say, oh, listen, I need to remodel. I bought this property and I need to remodel it. How much you charge me? And I will do my numbers and be like, hey, listen, this is going to cost you $60,000, $80,000. And then because I have a margin. So instead of you pay me the $80,000, you give me 40 and you make me your partner and we'll project together. I'll do the project for you and we split the commission at the end. So instead of me being just a construction guy, and they would like that because then I would save money because I want to make more money when we sell the property.
Mm-hmm.
So little by little, I started gaining that knowledge, gaining ownership of the project instead of just being a construction guy. And the other way is I started getting people calling me with projects. Hey, we have a house. It's not on the market. We need to sell it. Or people, hey, listen, that lady needs to sell her house. So then I will get the investor. Hey, I have a property. If I bring it for you, I don't want commission. Let's partner up. You buy it, we build it, and we split the commission. And then they will say yes. And that was another way of buying into deals, finding the actual deal. And since I had the connections with the investor, they will say, absolutely, let's do it. You found the deal, you fix it, and I'll put the money for the construction, and we split the profit at the end.
That has to be done with the right documents between all the parties. Because if you're not on title, it's easy for you to just get bypassed.
Correct. So, it's a process to everything. Like I've done a lot of wholesaling, like with the whole COVID-19 thing, that we were all locked up. I sold 4 houses from the couch in my house, without leaving my house. But again, I lost a lot of money. I invested money. I lost escrow money. We got a house that we bought and it got knocked down by the city that we couldn't save it in Coral Gables. Wow. It's all part of this. You start gaining experience and doing less and less mistakes once, I've been doing this for a long time, but it's all part of the process. Like you're going to have partnerships that are going to go sour, people that are going to want to, people that are going to jeopardize a partnership that is bound to make 50,000, jeopardize it for making 5,000 today or taking 3,000 on something. You understand? Like you find people throughout this thing that it makes no sense. You're like, really, like we're arguing over this when we have all of that we can build, but it happens. It's just part of this.
So you refrain from the wholesale route, right? Is that what you're saying? So more or less.
I did a lot of wholesaling at some point, yeah, because it was easy. You just can't get yourself to that. I did a lot of wholesaling. I made a lot of money just flipping contracts.
And that's building from scratch, right? When you say wholesaling.
Wholesaling, it's finding someone that's selling a property, like a regular owner that they don't know, and you give them a contract that you're able to assign. Then you go and you flip that contract to someone, and you put 10,000, 15,000. Sometimes you make a lot of money. Like at one point you could make a lot of money if you get a good house from the owner, and you're able to put it on the contract and tie it up with a contract. you can make a lot of money. That's wholesaling. That's what wholesaling is. You're only flipping paper. You're not actually doing anything with the properties.
It never stays under your name.
Interesting stuff.
How much, Ajay? I was gonna ask, like how many times, like when the group gets involved in multifamily deals, like how many times do they look to you personally and say like, no, we can't do this deal based on your construction knowledge? Like, does that happen often?
Yeah. It happens. It happens. With Luis and I tell him I go in first. Roxy goes to the city.
Okay.
Roxy goes to the city.
Yeah.
And then she's the one, she goes in and she's like, hey, because the thing is, on paper, a problem may seem like, oh, this is nothing. But then when you go to the city, you meet with a building department, with code enforcement, and you get really, oh no, this is a fence that was done without a permit. Okay, perfect. But then if it's a door, then a door may trigger you having to put all the windows up to date on the house.
Or not
And
half
if
of the
you
house.
let them into the house and they see that there's work done, then everything else gets triggered. Oh, wait a minute, but this is a bathroom that was remodeled. So it's all risks that you know that you have to factor into the project. So if it's worth it, if you have a good discount, you said, you know what, F it, let's do it, because I'm getting $300,000 discount on this property. But if I have to spend an extra 30 or 40 in paperwork, in permitting, it's worth it. Or if you buy a property that you know that you can increase the value by adding more units, or making the units bigger, or you know, like what. Again, this is something that you have to really know what you're doing, because you have to take the risk.
Yeah.
If you go to the MLS buy properties, you're not going to make any money. Whatever's on the MLS is being sold with a cap. Oh no, you're making 7% cap or 8% cap, and when you do all the new numbers and you get the loan and you get the new taxes and the new insurance, you make no money. It's not gonna. That's it. You cannot make any money. So today, in today's the way things are, whoever buys a multifamily out there and they're selling it and saying, oh no, this is a 5% cap, 7% cap, do your numbers right, because you're probably not gonna make any money.
Yeah. So I guess like pretty much
You have to go for the distressed stuff. You gotta go for the
yeah. When they run the Excel and they show it to us on Thursdays, and they have the construction or the renovation expenses, they pretty much get that from you, pretty much, like that part of the Excel.
Yeah. Roxy and I always go first when we even look at the property, and I tell Roxy, hey, go in and check the lot type, what kind of lot is. So, although I'm always thinking about future. Okay, wait a minute, we're buying it right now, but look, it's a 66 lot. We could actually do this into 11 units, or you understand? So you want to have some value add other than just remodeling the place. You want to make sure that when you hold that building for 2, 3 years, 4 years, whatever, you have something that has more value than what you're getting it for right now.
Not only that, something as simple as having someone selling you a house that looks completely renovated, and then you go into the city and you see 0 permits ever, or that the last permit pulled was on, I don't know, 1998. That's a problem for you, because the minute you're going to touch anything in the house, they're going to make you legalize whatever this other person did. So all those things you have to have in mind. If for example, you need to do the roof, the minute you do the roof, you're going to have issues with the rest of the things that the previous owner did and never took permits for. So those are the things that we evaluate too when we're trying to purchase a property. Like, it's not always good to go to the city and see no violations and see no permits. It may be also a red flag because of that.
Yeah.
So you guys have ran into situations where you've seen a property, assess the value, and say, all right, this might be a good deal, and go in there, and by the time you guys do the lien, I think you guys said, the costs associated with Now, getting that building up and running kind of doesn't make sense.
Correct. Yeah, it
How often
happens.
does that happen?
It happens. And again, like I said, we're used to looking for properties that have problems, but we remember the value add has to be there for you to take the risk. If we're gonna say, listen, we're gonna take a year and $150,000 to do this, we gotta know that those $150,000 in that 1 year is going to turn into $350,000 in value to the building. Or you may see it and you'll be like, oh wow, they're selling me this house only for $300,000 and the comparable is $500,000. Wow, this is amazing. And when you go in, it has a bunch of illegal additions and things like that that is gonna take you all that margin of money that you're seeing as a gain, and the time and the headaches and so you're like, no way, no, it's not worth it.
Hey guys,
Do you? Sorry, just a quick question. Do you typically ask for all the records of a property before you purchase it, like the microfilms, existing drawings, or permits?
Yeah, there's microfilms, there's the city records, and there's something called that is a building jacket that sometimes is the oldest record they have of a property is called a building jacket. And we request it all the time because they're even written by hand. Imagine, some of them are written by hand, but in more than one occasion has saved us from having to demo a section of the building or an entire building because it was approved at one point on the building record, on the building jacket. And even though the city, the building department doesn't have that in record, they'll allow that building jacket because it's an official document from the property.
Thanks. That's very useful to know.
Yeah.
There's a lot to it than just a turnkey establishment. There's always things lurking underneath.
Yeah. That's why every time we're sitting there, we tell everybody, this is a group effort. I cannot do what my wife does, and I cannot do what Luis does or Ari does. We're all doing what, the part of the job that we need to do to make sure that this thing works. Especially in a multifamily. Maybe if it's a house, I'll go in, do my own research, put it on the contract and go after it. But when it's a multifamily, a bigger project that has a lot of moving parts, and you shouldn't do it by yourself. You have to find a good group of people and just try to make it work. That's we have.
I was gonna say, I've heard Lewis and other people say before, like the more headaches it looks like it has, the more opportunity it also has too.
Correct. Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
How often, like with what you do, Jay? Like, how often would you say like you expected something to get done in X amount of time, then it turns out to be more? Like, let's say, okay, I put 6 months on this project, but it turned out to be 9 months instead.
Paperwork. When it comes to the city with paperwork. Look, today Roxy and I solved an issue on a project that we have in Hallandale that is being denied for 4 weeks, and we solved it today in half an hour with the right person.
So 1 month.
A 3 months, a 4 week delay was resolved in half an hour, just because we found the right person by chance. It's not even that we knew, because we don't have like all the connections in every single city, and in every single city in every department. Sometimes you have to go through the system. So anybody that's dealing with anything that is like a legal thing, a violation, some kind of issue, you gotta give yourself problem. You gotta say, you know what? 6 months, 8 months, a year. The construction part, very few things surprise me anymore. Very few things. I go into and I can, I may get one of my crews that gets sick and loses today, but nothing like, oh no, my God, this took me a month instead of 5 days. When it comes to the construction part of it, that I already got very well down packed, because I don't do everything. I have, you know, a good group of guys that I've known for a long time. I know what they can do. I know how to incentivize them to, you know, work more, work faster. So the construction part for me is very hard to be a surprise involved. But with the city, yeah, no, there's no easy.
And that's where Roxanne comes in, right? That's where Roxana comes
exactly. Yeah, because Roxy is an engineer and she knows how to deal with drawings and things like that as well. So
Right.
a lot of those that helps a lot. Like I'm telling you that's like and again I was able to get her to come work with me for 2 years now, and we grew so much after that because everything that she was doing I was doing or hiring people to do it, and it's not the same, you know, as to have someone that's your right hand, you know, like helping you get all those things resolved.
So on that same project or one you just mentioned, you said the city denied you for over 4 weeks, right? And then you found a buyer. So now if it was being denied, then I didn't really get that part. So I figured I'll ask if you get what I'm asking.
So we're legalizing shutters and windows for a property that one of my clients bought. They bought it to do a flip. They didn't do the construction with me. They got caught working without a permit, and then the guy disappeared. So then somebody gave him my number. Hey, call Jay. He's gonna help you, whatever. Blah, blah. So we go in after the fact, and I put together the engineer, the paperwork, and we start submitting all the paperwork to the city. But what I was telling you before, we're being looked at as bad people because we got caught working without a permit. And this time is the owner that we're working with. So I cannot say, oh, no, we're the new owners, we're here to help. No, they know that we're working for the guy that got caught working without a permit. So sometimes that puts a lot of like walls in front of you where things should take a day, they'll take 3 days, and it adds up. We were submitting paperwork to a reviewer that hasn't answered our emails, phone calls, and he doesn't accept walk-ins. So for 3 weeks, we've been submitting paperwork and getting it denied for stupid things, like minor details, things that have easily been resolved. As a matter of fact, like I said, all of the problems we had, we resolved today, all but one, in a half an hour conversation where we've been trying to solve these issues for 3 weeks with no answer. And the building department doesn't do nothing. You go there, you sign up, you talk to someone. Yeah, don't worry about it. You know, this is what you need to do. They'll print out a paper from the computer. This is what you need to do. This is the phone number for the inspector. That's the email. You can die emailing and calling that person. There's no repercussion. There's nothing. If they don't answer, your paperwork doesn't move. And if you put a complaint against that person, guess what's going to happen to your paperwork?
It gets delayed.
Exactly.
They'll do what?
So you gotta go, whenever you go to the building department
against that person, like your paperwork is just going to get delayed even more.
It puts under the pile. If there's 10 files, oh, this guy is being, you know, pushy, or like he came and talked to my supervisor.
Oh yeah, we got something for you.
Listen, exactly. I'm gonna put you under 10 other files. So again, when it comes to the building department, you gotta give yourself a lot of time. Especially, like I said, if you're doing like a straightforward project where you're gonna submit paperwork to do a brand new roof, or you're gonna put, do windows or do a renovation, and you submit your drawings, submit your permits, it's a couple of months and you're good. But when you're fixing problems, existing problems, that's when the issues happen, because they have other records, they have other things in the system that can confuse them when you're submitting the new paperwork, a new ownership. That is a problem.
Interesting. Well, it's all part of the game.
Yeah, it's part of the game.
Yeah.
You just gotta you have to schedule yourself and make sure that you have the because during all this time, the property is costing you, like if you buy a flip or a multifamily, whatever you buy, all that time, if the property is vacant, it's costing you monthly money. You're paying monthly. If you have it rented,
you're paying the mortgage. You're
while
paying the mortgage out of your own pocket, pretty much.
exactly. If it's rented and you have tenants there and you're like working on the paperwork, it's getting paid, you're not worried. But if you have an empty property that you're working on issues, you have a monthly payment to do on top of all the construction work and everything, and all of that you have to have into account when you go into the project.
So in a sense, you need on-hand cash that's just there for situations like that. Like you can't just go in there.
Yeah, correct. You have to prepare yourself for all that time that you're going to be down when it comes to an empty property, because you're going to be carrying it for whatever amount of time it takes you. And people will come and say, oh, don't worry about it. That's just a month, a couple of months, and we're ready. No. Plan yourself for a bunch of months. Like I said, 6 months, 8 months, a year. Plan yourself. Make sure that you have that cushion there and work from there. Like I said, especially when you're dealing with problems.
When a group or somebody like closes on a deal and then like it's finalized and everything, like you go look in there and see what needs to get done. How often do you go back to that property, like while the work is getting done? Like every day, every other day?
Almost every day. Like during when that's happening, that's I'm always there.
Okay.
I love that part of the job. Actually, that's I'd rather be there than at the office. I hate the office.
Okay, fair enough.
So
that's not your role, pretty much, to be at the office.
In most projects, I'm there. If not every day, every other day.
Yeah.
A lot of the times I have my laptop. Well, I always have my laptop in my truck, and I have everything here. So this is my office. My truck is my office. So I'll park in the job site, make sure that everybody's doing whatever they need to do. And when I need to step out, I either sit in my truck and work on my laptop or go around and sit somewhere, go to check on the properties. Like we have a few things happening all the time. We're never just doing one thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, for sure, I go every day to the project.
Two or three going on, the group.
Yeah, correct.
2 or 3 projects going on at once. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Do you ever get out there with the guys and actually do physical work, or do you just assign the work? You do?
No. I do a lot of work. You'll find me fixing a sink somewhere because somebody called. Oh, we have a sink that doesn't work, and I'm like, I'm not gonna move my plumber that's running me an entire apartment to go fix a sink. So I have a bunch of service people, like I have my AC people that I do service calls and plumbing, electrical. But if I'm in the area, like I said, I don't mind it because I like it. I have every single thing that you can imagine in my truck. So I'll go do it myself, go to Home Depot, run whatever I need to do, go get it, fix it, and move on. Or if the guys call me, Jay, we ran out of cement, or I need 2 sheets of plywood. And I'm in the area, I'm like, don't worry about it, don't leave the job. I'm gonna go get the materials and I'll bring it over to the site. I do that all the time because, like I said, I don't mind it. And I have a truck, so.
Yeah. And on top of that, like if you have them go do it, that's actually pulling them away from like doing the actual work at the
and they'll take 2 hours in Home Depot walking around, like if it's a candy store where I just hate Home Depot, I just go and I'm in and out.
Yeah. Because like pretty much like from your aspect, you want to get it done quickly, so time is money, obviously.
Yeah. The good thing about me is that I don't pay my people by the day. So I don't care.
You told me that.
Yeah. I pay them by projects because if not, I will be a slave. I gotta be like, oh my God, this guy is smoking too much, or that guy is taking 3 cigarette breaks, or drinking too many coffees. I don't do that. I tell them, hey, this needs to be done here. And since I'm checking the job every day, I know if it's on time and then I don't worry. Like if they took lunch at 11 or now they want to take lunch at 4 p.m., it's not my problem. I don't care. As long as they're doing what needs to be done. Because if not, if you pay the guys by the day, you become their slave. Actually, not them, you. Because then I have to be there on the job. Hey, wait a minute. Why is it taking you so long to put, 4 tiles? What do you do here? You gotta be getting explanations, and believe me, I've been doing this for so long that I know,
So pretty much you tell them here, 10 grand for this project, and you get it done as soon as you can, pretty much.
Correct. I tell them, you finish this, I have that over there waiting for us. You're not done. When that one comes out, I give it to somebody else.
Okay.
So that's their incentive. I tell them right now, hey, like we're remodeling 2 apartments right now, and I told the guys, hey, we have a big project coming next week. I have a demolition that's $20-something thousand. You want to be part of that? I need this apartment done this week. If not, somebody else is taking that.
Yeah. Okay, so pretty much like your game plan is you throw deadlines at them so they can like step up their game and work faster and stuff like that.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. For
and I
the
give
most
them a
part,
budget, so I give them a budget, and they know what they need to make. So sometimes they'll bring their own help. Like sometimes they'll bring for a couple of days they'll bring a helper to help and do a section of the job to do it faster. And we have guys that make $100 a day just to help out, to be a helper, for a couple of days. And when I give them a budget, they'll play with that, and sometimes like bring a helper to remove garbage, to to chip out some floors, or like job that they don't want to do, because a lot of my guys are more skilled, they're like carpenters, or they're like somebody that does tile, or an electrician, or a plumber. I'm not going to put him to chip a floor.
would you say that you run into a lot of problems often with your people and your helpers, or like that's not really an issue?
No. What I'm saying, no, because the thing is, with the helpers, I have a few guys that I call them, and I know what they're gonna do. Like I pay them $100 a day, but I know that they're gonna give me 3 hours of work. Even if they stay from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., I know that in reality they're gonna work 3 hours. So I pay them $100, but I get them to demo an entire section of the living room that I know that I don't want to put my plumber to do, because he can do the entire bathroom in that day instead of me losing him chipping out a floor.
Yeah.
You understand? So that kind of thing.
Yeah, you gotta plug people into the right place, pretty much. That's how it goes. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
You have to.
Okay.
You have to.
I think like I'm just brainstorming as I process all the information that you're asking.
Yeah. No, it's like I said, I like construction. I worked in construction for a long time, and I actually enjoy it. I don't have a problem like being part of it, not just walking around and telling people what to do.
Mm-hmm.
Jay, I have a question. When you guys are looking for a property that has violations, do you guys like make sure that fix those problems before buying, even if it's cash?
Wait. I didn't. What was the
So
question? Sorry.
let's say
There's
there's a building with violations. You guys, before purchase that building, you like try to clean up all the issues with the violations, or
No, we try to understand what the actual violation is, because, like I said, on paper you can have a violation that says you have an open permit from 1995, and it has a fee attached to it. It's a lien. So you're like, okay, if it's from 1995, I'm going to go there to the city, I'm going to talk to them, and they'll probably remove it because it's old. And they're going to say, no, that permit that was open, you need to close it. So they're going to tell you, you need to do a change of contractor, bring a contract, submit a permit, get a contractor to come and certify that roof that you have now, and get it fixed. But what if it's a new roof? And then you bring the inspector, and they're like, wait, this is not the roof from 1996. This is a new roof. How did this happen? So again, the main thing that Roxy and I do before we go into a project is understanding the problems, not fixing them. We know that once we understand the problem, then we put a budget and a time frame to fix that problem. But the problems get fixed after the fact, not before you buy the property.
but if, for example,
I'm losing you. Hello, I'm not hearing you.
Yes.
Hello, do you guys hear me?
Yeah, I
Hello?
can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you.
Hello?
Yeah, I hear you fine.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm not here. I'm not hearing whoever's trying to
Hello?
speak or to ask a question. Hello?
There you go.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Somebody was asking a question. I didn't realize who it was.
I think Chris, you're
Yeah.
trying to.
Sorry.
No,
I
it
just
wasn't
had
me. He cut
to
off.
mute because some noise here where I am. So yeah, that is scenario. But let's say that the building, the modification that they have done doesn't meet the code requirement. So you have to like demolish it. What do you do in that
No,
case?
we won't go into it. If we're not being, because remember that we're looking at it when we analyze the building, we're analyzing what's there and how we add value to it. In a scenario where you're gonna lose a section of the building or you're gonna have to bring it down from the number of units, unless the seller decides and says, you know what, this is a fourplex, but I know that the city is gonna tell you that you need to demo those 2 units and you need to buy it as a duplex. And then we buy it with a discount that would mean that we're gaining value as a duplex, then we still may look at it. But if not, we won't go after it. We have a battle with the city right now on a property that is going to take us almost in August. It's going to be a year on a property that we bought for a little bit over 500,000, but it's a $1.3 million property, and we're fighting with the city not to demo it. But we're looking to gain almost 50% value on the property.
Got it. It will always depend on the case then.
Exactly. Yeah. Again, big risk, big reward.
Hey Jay, is there any opportunity for us to get more like kind of like more firsthand look at some of the stuff you do? Like either maybe if you could do a recorded Zoom as you go through, or maybe someday when a few of us could walk with you for the day.
Yeah, actually, I'm remodeling 2 apartments right now in one of our buildings that I'll be more than happy to show you guys what we're doing. I love small apartments. Small apartments survive any kind of market, right? Like if you have a $4,000 apartment a month apartment, right? The economy collapses, and the first thing people do is they drop their big expenses, whatever big expensive car they have. If they have a jet ski, if they have like whatever big things, is gonna get dropped, right? But you need a place to live, so they're gonna go to the smaller place. Whoever was living in a 2-bedroom apartment, they're gonna look for a 1-bedroom apartment. They're gonna look for a studio. But you're gonna need a place to live. So I love making my apartments small because in any economy they will work. Like if I have a huge 1,000 square feet apartment, I will find a way to turn it into 2 apartments, and so on. Like that kind of stuff. I love doing that. Also, you increase the value, you increase the income of the building, and a down unit, when it comes to percentage, is going to represent less than if you have an entire floor empty. You understand?
Yeah.
So if you had a unit that was like 8 bedrooms that was for sale, and let's say it was a duplex, you would look for a way to turn that into a fourplex. But, yeah,
Absolutely.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Internally and quietly. But yes, I will definitely look to make it into more units, smaller units, where they're easy to pay in whatever economy, whatever happens. I was here, you know, in 2006, 2007, when like 2009, when the whole thing happened, and I learned from that you downsize. Something like that happens, and the first thing people do is they downsize and they cut off weight. You cut off whatever you have, and you get smaller. You know.
Yeah.
Makes
So
sense. Every time I peek at Zillow, I always notice that if there's a duplex, so let's say 4 bedroom, 2 bath on each side, the days on the market, it's always, you know, ridiculous. I guess that's the trend, you know. Like,
yeah, you have to, like I said, you have, and not only that, like I said, if you have a duplex, it's simple math. If you have a duplex and you have an empty unit, 50% of your building is empty, right? But if you have a duplex and you cut it in 4 and you make 2 other little apartments and you have an empty unit, that's 25% of your building empty instead of 50.
Yeah. You still have
So,
3. You have your 3 other tenants there, pretty much.
Exactly. So you give yourself a margin and you give yourself range to be able to hold on until you rent out of the unit.
Yeah.
yeah, because then you're banking on a family, like a big family. Like that's your only target audience.
Correct. That exactly. Like I said, we do have a couple of houses that they're like high rent properties, but they're not my favorite. If I'm being honest, after I've been doing this whole multifamily thing with the little apartments, the big houses with the big rents scare me a little bit.
Why is that? Because of vacancy rate?
Yeah, because something happens and that big family, and then somebody that's paying $4,000, $5,000 a month to be able to replace them, that's another kind of tenant. Somebody's coming at you looking for a $5,000 a month or a $6,000 a month rent. They have like high expectancies. It's a more informed tenant. So it may take you longer to replace. And during that time, that house is empty and it's costing you your money because you don't have another unit to at least make some payments or nothing. If it's a house, that house is empty, it's costing you money.
Makes sense. The higher you go on the income spectrum, the less people could actually grasp it, you know? Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, like the person was asking about like being out there like in the field with you like one day. That property that we looked at, 2469, that me and some of the other people invested in. I think Lewis had said that we're gonna go look at it again now that it's completely finished, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say, but you're not gonna see anything fun there because everything is done.
Oh, okay.
Like
Yeah,
I
that's
was
true.
talking
Yeah,
about taking
fair
you
enough.
to an actual, like I have 2 apartments that are like raw right now, like
Something
actual
something beat
ripping out
up. Yeah,
floors. Yeah. The 2469 is done. We're like the property is already beautiful. Where
yeah.
we got ahead, we're finalizing paperwork right now to finish closing the permits, but the actual work on that one it's done. The property is
Yeah.
already it's beautiful.
Okay. Yeah. I didn't realize that. Like I'm sure the group would like to go see something that's like all beat up, and a whole lot of work. Walls have holes in it. Well,
Exactly.
yeah,
That's what I was referring to actually going to a job site, so you guys
yeah.
can understand.
So Jay, from your point of view, that one in particular, how perform in the construction side?
Which one? 2469?
Yeah, that one.
Man, 2469, we did good. That's a good property. It's all frame, so it's easy to work. I didn't have to deal with any structural issues or nothing, in the sense of like concrete slabs and support walls and all of that. It was all frame, and I was able to get it done fairly quick. The actual work, and it was extensive. The unit in the front was like really bad. I had to do from scratch. All the subfloors, all the perimeter walls, the roof. It was in really bad shape. But being that it was frame, it wasn't like hard to do, you know. But that was a fun project. I really liked that property. and I enjoy the construction part of it. Now we're just trying to get all the paperwork signed and approved and ready, and that's it.
But what paperwork? Because I think all the permits were approved, right?
No, we have electrical is already approved. We submitted. They sent us some changes on the plumbing section, so we had to resubmit drawings for the plumbing part.
What is approved is the drawings.
Yeah.
The drawings were approved, and they gave us the permits, but we still have to go through the inspections for them to make sure that whatever is at the house is what is in the drawings also. Once they confirm all of that for each one of the trades, then all the permits are approved. Only electrical has passed all the inspections. We're in inspections for plumbing right now.
Got it. Thank you.
A lot of behind the scenes work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that property came out really good. Like, we really like that property. It's in a really good location. It's gonna do good.
Yeah. Okay.
And then nothing. Maybe at some point next week, because this weekend I can't. But maybe like during the week, let's talk. And if enough of you can make it on I know that we like to do the meetings on Saturdays, the walkthroughs to the tours. I can take you to I can take you to one property that we're working on, and then another property that we're looking to take down to actually do, so you guys get an idea of something else that we're looking at.
Yeah.
So I guess during the week we can plan, and then I'll let you know if let's say if we could do like a little tour on Saturday to go to a couple of properties.
You'll be busy. You'll be busy next Sunday for Father's Day. So.
Oh shoot! Sunday's Father's Day. All right, I'm getting a present next week.
Yeah. So.
Thank you for reminding me. I'm gonna put it on my calendar because I didn't know.
Yeah.
Present check.
So yeah. But on Saturday, yeah, if I don't have anything planned, I would definitely go through, see the process.
We'll do like a quick thing. It's not gonna be like an hour or nothing. We do like a small little. I want to take you to one stop so you can do so you can see two apartments that we're in the middle of remodeling, and then I'm gonna take you to another building that we're planning on taking down, that we're still in the process of getting a secure paperwork wise.
Yeah.
But you guys are gonna love it. It's a really nice property in a really nice area. So
are we talking about day after tomorrow?
No, not tomorrow.
Next Saturday.
No, next week.
Saturday.
Yeah.
That'll be the 15th. Jamar?
Yeah.
Then you want to go see
again,
it out firsthand?
Again, like I'll again, like I said, we'll talk during the week. I'll put a message on the chat or something to let you guys know, like by Tuesday, Wednesday of next week, to confirm and see who wants to go, and then we'll do it.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right. I think I'm out of questions. I think I asked Jay enough. So.
Yeah.
No, it was good. It was a good call. I enjoyed talking to you guys.
Yeah, very informative. You learn what's kind of behind the scenes than just a turnkey.
Yeah, I would say for sure. Like Jay and Roxy, like you guys handle like a lot of the stuff that investors and stuff don't see. Like they just look at a pretty building, but like you guys do all the
correct. No, and when it comes to learning the process, we want you to see that part too, because a lot of people be like, they're like, oh yeah, what do you mean we're gonna spend $100,000 on that? Well, you don't, and then you gotta understand this part that we do. It's not just grabbing a hammer and a couple of nails. It's all it actually takes a lot of paperwork and things to do construction, especially when you're dealing with problems with the city. It's not just, again, straightforward grabbing a hammer and going at it, and since especially like people like you guys that are already like starting to invest,
Yeah.
It's good that you understand this part of the process as well.
Because this really is like Lewis does a tough part as well, but this is like the dirty work for a property, pretty much. So
Correct.
yeah.
Correct.
Um,
Lucky for you guys, I really like it. So
yeah, make sure you never retire, okay?
I know. Well, listen, I want to in a couple of years. So
yeah. So pretty much take advantage of your presence now. Yeah,
I need to
exactly.
get on board quick, man.
Yeah.
It's limited.
Jamar, that's a time right there. Jump on it
Time's
as
limited.
as possible. So
Yeah,
All right.
no, we're Luis and I, like I said, we never stop, man. We're looking at a couple of things right now that we want to see if we go after. We're always active because, listen, we're in a market that we're one of the worst markets right now that we've seen in the country. Like, I don't have to tell you, like, whatever industry you're in, you know that we're in a really, like, the interests are super high. Everything is crazy right now.
yeah.
We're hoping that from here, it can only get better. So whatever we do now, during this market, imagine when we have a market where you can actually get loans that are easier, you can refinance easier at a lower rates once you get out of the construction part of the projects. You pull all your money out, you have money to work. So doing it now is tough schooling for us, for people that do this even in this market.
Yeah.
So
Because
it can only get,
even the lenders themselves right now, they can't lower their interest rates because they have no choice.
they can't. Right now we're dealing with what it is,
Yeah.
So how
Even
you seen in a few years, huh? I was 06, 07. I think I just moved to the States.
Yeah. Well, interest rates were low a couple of years ago, but I would say from the last 2 or 3 years to now, you'd be lucky if you get a loan for like 6 months.
we're doing some refis, and we're refinancing on DSCRs at 8.7, high sevens. When a couple of years back, people were refinancing at a 3, at a 4.
Yeah.
Some people were lucky enough that got loans on the 2s. Jesus Christ, I will be like swimming in money if I had my loans in the 2s or the 3s.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, like, you will have to be paying me to be doing this call for you guys.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Yeah, it's only gonna listen. It's only gonna get better. Like, we're in one of the worst times on economy wise and market wise, and we're lucky that we're in Miami, because real estate in Miami, nothing applies. Nothing that's happening in the world, nothing that's happening up north, any of the other markets don't apply.
Yeah.
Miami is its own world when it comes to real estate.
Every
market you look, because everybody's like, the entire world looks to Miami to invest. You have the entire whenever there's something bad happening in any of the countries in Latin America, the first thing that everybody does is they pull all their money and they bring it to Miami. Everyone from Brazil to Argentina to all this, to Peru, to the smaller countries.
Venezuela.
And then Venezuela, forget it. Venezuela, they invested billions of dollars here in this market in Miami.
Yeah, especially Doral.
Doral, yeah, I was gonna say.
They built Doral. All the entire Doral was built on Venezuelan money. All of it.
Wow. Oh wow, I never knew that.
Yeah. Doral
is one because of Roxy's family.
Yeah, in the 2000s, because I was in the middle of it. I was building, like I said, guys, just my company alone was doing 1,000 units a year. Can you imagine 1,000 units a year? One developer. That was Century Homes. Then you have Shoma Homes, Lucky Star, Lennar, like those big monsters.
Right.
So, and all those units were getting pumped out and getting bought. People, like, if you put the MLS right now and you put units in Doral, you cannot buy anything for less than $800,000, $700,000, $1 million. And in the 2000s, when we built them, they were being sold in the 400s, or 500,000. So everyone that brought their money and put it there, they double and triple their money.
Oh, of course.
And it was all because of a
Inflation and
crisis in
everything
Latin
and
America.
everything apart.
It was all because of a crisis in Latin America.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Just
Pretty much like they had crisis in Latin America, but they look for the opportunity here. That's pretty much what it
Correct.
is.
Yeah, because remember, Miami, it's 90% Latin America, 10% America. You know,
Yeah.
I mean,
Fair enough. Yeah.
what better way? Back your assets with some U.S. currency and real estate. I mean, it sounds too bad, right?
Yeah. And another thing now, guys, some of the biggest companies. You have Clifford number? Oh shoot, yeah. Let me see something. I was gonna say because I have to run to my 8 p.m. meeting. Remember that
Let us know.
New York
All
and
right, we
California.
don't want to keep you too long, man. You know, it's very informative.
Yeah, they
What's the-
relocated between New York and California. They relocated about 1,000 families a day to South Florida for the last few years. Not 1,000 people, 1,000 families a day.
So that's
So
minimum
in
2,500
addition to
people.
everything that's coming from Latin America, and that's all here, South Florida, and especially Miami. That's why it's so crazy. So nothing. Thank you so much, guys. Like I
Yeah, no,
really
thank
appreciate
you.
Hey,
listening.
brother, appreciate
So
it.
much, man.
Have a good one.
We'll see you. We'll see you throughout the week and stuff like that. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Wait, yeah, you too. Appreciate it, man. But
All right.
wait. So actually, who's hosting this? Like, I don't see Luis. I don't see Javier.
Luis, Javier is on in a hotel somewhere drinking champagne, and Luis is flying to Europe. So they left me and Roxy working, and they all left.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
okay.
you
Okay.
get the skeleton crew.
Yeah.
Skeleton crew. Jeez. That's funny, man. But I mean, are we wrapping up? Or are we?
Yeah. I gotta let you guys go.
I mean,
I have an 8 p.m.
unless y'all want to keep hosting, you know.
Yeah.
Oh,
All right.
it's up to
I'm
the host.
signing out. Thank you, guys.
Hey, take
All
it
right,
easy,
take
man,
it.
all right?
All right. Bye bye.
God bless.
Thank you.
Yes.
We'll talk.